Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to do another frequently asked questions video, so we'll get into 3 comments from 3 different videos and we'll see what you guys are curious about. And I love it when there's something with meat on the bone, something with depth, even if it's critical, because sometimes those are the most meaningful conversations. So that's what we're looking for, and if that sounds interesting, I invite you to stick around. Otherwise, just thank you for checking out the channel. Have an amazing day. Let's get into it. I haven't looked at the comments yet at all. There's tons to talk about, even if the comments aren't like, there's just so much going on with the auction cards and the legends and the, Conclave Arcana coming around the corner. There's so many cool things. So I'm hoping you guys are eager to talk Splinterlands. I know I am. Okay. I saw something already on land there that I'm interested in talking about from Erroneous, but just have a quick glance to see if there's anything with like several thumbs up. Let's grab Erroneous. Been subbed to the channel for over a year now. Thank you, Erroneous. And this is from a comment from a recent video where I was talking end of season rewards. And in that end of season reward video, there was a lot that I talked about. Actually, there was more than just like, hey, here's my rewards. I talked about how maybe we need to see new reward cards coming from Splinterlands, because already some people are getting max level of the current. And I don't think I talked about land, but I'm seeing Erroneous mention land here. So let's see what he had to say. He said the other land resources can't get here fast enough. There are multiple things you could quote unquote replace rewards with in the glint shop, plus wagon panels that could repair your wagons in the glamour system. Ooh, interesting. I like that suggestion, because I talked about, like I said, some of the reward cards already getting a little, they've only been out for what, 3 months? But there are many accounts, myself included, 97% common, 87 on the rare, 64 on epics, 19 on the legendaries. That's getting quite full. It's not complete. It's, it's actually far from complete when you look at the epics and the legendaries. But one, the legendaries I don't really care about as much. They're not as powerful. The epics will get there in 2 more months, 3 more months. And clearly my commons and rares are full or nearly full. And so that's me. And of course I've got more glint than many of you, but I don't have nearly as much glint as some of you. And there are many people I know at least 3 people who already have a max level set. And so clearly this is getting, people are getting more and more of it. They're going to be satisfied within the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to see a lot of people with full accounts, full Rebellion reward card accounts. And then we know that Conclave Arcana is coming. And so it does feel like this is a good set time to start thinking about the next reward cards. I don't think that's in anybody's radar except for mine. I don't think the team's thinking about that. I don't think most of the community is thinking about that. But I do think if we want to instill deep value in these cards and we want people to believe that the rewards are meaningful, one of the things we ought to do is keep scarcity, right? Keep the cards in low print runs. I know that the unlocking process will itself keep scarcity low. You need to burn DEC to unlock the card, and therefore there will never be a huge amount of cards in the marketplace. And we can kind of verify that based on looking at reward cards from Chaos and see what these cards are like Ava Sturgis, 237 unbound cards. That's next to nothing. And so my point with that data is, and it's the same if you look at all these are the legendaries, but it'd be the same on any of them. Skok is 239, Kulu is 446. Very low issuance of transferable, sellable, rentable cards. That will always be so. And at some point in the future, the reward window will close and you can no longer unbind them, and therefore the transferable limit will never grow thereafter. That's important, and that is noteworthy, and it does point us to an argument why you could say these cards will be scarce. They are scarce in a transferable sense. But I think even better than just being scarce in that one dimension or sense would be to be scarce in every sense. To actually recognize that if we stop print rates on Rebellion reward cards, when people are longing for more of them, that would be a recipe for greater price gains and significant attraction to outside lookers who are saying, these NFTs are going, like, they're giving away what? $50 cards, $100 cards, playing Splinterlands, as opposed to, 2 years ago you could play and earn Ava Sturgis, or you would have had to play for a while to earn max level Ava Sturgis and extras. So for the last year you've been earning cards, but you have to unlock them, and if you unlock it for $5 you can get $1 profit. That's not the excitement or the attraction that we want it to be. And so my view and I guess my contention is that, doesn't it make sense to change how the Rebellion reward cards are issued, the timelines that they're being released within? And I think that is the best path to excite new rewards. But erroneous, I have to say, your suggestion that there would be multiple rewards that could replace existing glint shop rewards, meaning we don't have to just be excited about Rebellion reward cards after you start seeing new assets from land, maybe, because they talked about what I think it was 20 plus, or was it even more? I don't know how many resources land is going to produce. I think it might be 20, but you can imagine if you had to come into the shop and you came in for rewards, and instead of just buying cards or chests, merits or energy or potions, you could actually buy grain, which everyone has enough grain. But what about iron, or what about steel, or what about food, and these different abilities and items that are going to have a certain significance within the land space would be an attraction for our glint, and therefore would suffice to slow down the print rate of the Rebellion reward cards, because it would distract some buyers and create a different, if you have a multitude of options, then there will be less daily volume going towards the reward cards, and therefore less prints of those happening. So that's a logical and thoughtful approach. Plus, we know that that's desirable for the team's perspective anyways. I think they talked about how they want to do, I don't know the exact timeline on the land, but I think like first quarter of 2025, we're talking about getting out the next phases of this. And I think that's going to be the place where we start to see those next level of items. I am not following that very closely. So I should be clear. I don't know when the dates are. I just understand, generally speaking, that it's coming soon, or the desire is that it would come soon. And so, yeah, I like the idea. I have nothing negative to say about that. My only, I guess, conversation is not to disagree, it's to agree, but then to also suggest maybe we do both. Maybe we limit the reward card issuance for Rebellion and we plan a Conclave reward set. I think that makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. And then simultaneously, we look toward moving land resources to be purchasable through Glint, maybe, or some capacity of that, thereby distracting some of the reward card printing and retaining some of the scarcity, which is ultimately a conversation that should attract new players. I'm talking about making the resources or the rewards in this game valuable, and thereby attracting players because the rewards are meaningful. So thanks for the comment, Erroneous, and appreciate you. Let's grab a couple more. Just a quick one from Dustin. This is me getting smacked around in Modern, and I was fighting, oh man, it's so hard, especially the beginning of the season. I think I played in the first 48 hours, I played 80 matches, and that's because I got energy from end of season chests, etc. Maybe it was 100 matches, and that's the moment in the season when there was absolutely the best of the best are in my way. Now, by 3 to 5 days into the season, they start to get out of the way, fighting for the top of the league, and so I'm then fighting comparable players, and I have more success now than I do sort of at the beginning. But I was getting stomped, and that was a longer video with lots of energy and lots of battles, and it didn't go well. Dustin says, "I'm glad I'm not the only one who has struggle sessions. Hang in there." One takeaway I got from the video is there's a reason Thispa is cheap. Spelling. Yeah, okay. The magic dodge somewhere. I knew what you meant. I think you spelled it right. I think it is Thispa, I think. Yeah, I tried that play repeatedly. I tried to do, and I'm still trying that, by the way. Let's see how, in the current month, how's Thispa doing for me? Thispa, 8 and 12. So my 49th summoner. Mind you, every match, how is that possible? I haven't played Malric 20 times. Something's going on there. Lifetime, current month, this. Okay, current month, 3 and 7. And I've been playing it like, look at this, is my number 8. But then again, to be clear, I'm playing Risk Eldrath a lot. Like this card, I lean on this card a lot. Obviously, I'm getting a lot of possibilities out there too. And then I'm trying to make Elias Max Pruitt work, but it's just, I don't know, I don't think I have him figured out. Lorcus, I'm just not playing it very much. And then I kind of pick it in situations where, yeah, I think I can do better with Lorcas and Pruitt, but Drath, I think I understand Drath. And so, mind you, I'm still learning the Modern League. I'm still figuring this out. And hopefully, I do think there's probably space for the Thispa and that phase ability. But you're right, man. I couldn't make it work in that video anyways. Let's grab a couple more. Quick question though, Keith dropped a comment on the video where I talked about 1.3 million for the sale of day 1 Heloise the Hollow, and I missed the end of day 2, but I did see that day 2 was at 1 million, and Housewife was the leader of that with 3.5 hours to go. I didn't see who won it. I'm sure somebody covered it on X, probably. Be good to see. I bet it closed for more than 1 million though. That would be my expectation. Okay, so 1,050,000. Still a strong finish. Oh, and Vedev got it. Attaboy. He bid 800,000 on day 1, got it for 1,050,000 on day 2. That's awesome. He was thinking he might have to wait till day 10 or late beyond that even. So good for you to strike. Housewife though, I was very interested to see that Housewife put a bid on the day 2 even after having won day 1. And so on that video, Dustin dropped in and said, I'm glad I'm not oh no. He said, how much are those gold foil versions going to go for? That would be interesting to see. On day 20, we'll see our first gold foil be sold. And I believe, because how they're working it, in case you don't know, is they're actually going to do certain days are designated as a gold foil. And so on the designated gold foil days, I'm thinking, and I was right about 1 million DEC for a regular unit. I think people are going to say maybe, like, it sounds crazy to me, but 5 million DEC. It sounds ludicrous, but that's actually where my head, and I think it could be 7 or 10. And I say that, if you want to really understand my thinking on this and you want like a deep conversation, watch this full video. Like in that full video at the end, I talk about the idea of like gold foils versus regular foil differentials. And if you come in to compare and you just go into you go gold foil to regular, or gold versus regular percentage difference, and you come and you see, look at the legend. Let's look at legendary specifically. Let's look at promo specifically. So these are promo cards that are legendary, and this is the difference between the price on the regular foil or the gold foil. So the gold foil for the Osher Constantia is 3.95% more expensive. It's a regular BCX card is 10, and a gold foil is 40. And so you go down the menu and you look at how quickly it escalates, all the way up to Minotaur Warlord, which was 88 times. So I actually said in the video, like 5 times is super common. It's actually like cheap. A cheap gold foil is 5 times more expensive. And I think, you could make an argument for 10 times as being appropriate, considering there's only 5 of these cards that are going to exist, considering the card is powerful and exciting in its own way. So I don't know. I mean, that sounds crazy, but could somebody spend 10 million DEC on that card on day 20 when they have the first gold foil? I don't know. I mean, maybe. You know what? We're going to grab one more comment because those last 2 were actually longer than I thought, and I'll call that kind of, so we'll get 4 comments today. You know what? Here. I see one from Jarby Digital, aka co-creator of Peak Monsters. Check out Peak Monsters, my favorite market for buying and selling Splinterlands cards. But Jarby goes, here, and again on that same video, 1.3 million, is that a good deal for Heloise the Hollow? And he said, here's the thing, just wait 1 extra day and pay less money. That's the issue here. And I saw this comment yesterday, and I thought I would reply in this sort of video, so let's grab it. This will be where we finish. I do agree, and clearly people, that's what we saw with day 2. 1,050,000 for day 2. Strong finish. 1 million DEC floor is still very, very high for an amazing card. And yet he's right, 30% savings ish, right? Like that's amazing. But also the interesting thing that maybe not everybody recognizes is that these cards are labeled in they are numbered, so they'll have a fingerprint. And so from a collector's standpoint, there's some interest that some people are going to hold over number 1 that they're not going to hold for number 2, and for number 2 that they're not going to hold for number 11, and for number 11 that they're not going to hold for 84. You know, the lower in the circulation, that matters from a collector standpoint. But also it matters in the fact that these people are already playing with these monsters. And let's feature one battle before we go, because this card is no joke. So we go to leaderboard, and I'm in modern, and I can tell, look at this. Okay, so Housewife has actually been trading sideways. I've been tracking. I think Housewife was like 54.60 or 54.40 when she bought the card for 36 hours ago, something like that. About 30 hours ago. But then she's up 40 points. It's not even close. Lorcas is still cruising. That's a big differential. But this card's good. And conceivably, arguably, Housewife has an advantage, has a distinct advantage, the advantage that others don't have. A card that is literally one of 2 in this moment. And I did tune in yesterday to her account, and I saw one of the matches play with it. As I scroll down through, these are her matches. I don't see the card being played regularly. Maybe it's the case it's not as powerful at that upper echelon that you might imagine. And a lot of people have talked about how it's like absolutely broken. I've seen that, like the OP or the power creep is going crazy. This card is ludicrous. We have such a gut reaction sometimes about this stuff. The card looks powerful. It does seem amazing. But if he had this 1-of-1 card and yet didn't run away with 10, an extra 5 battles yesterday and thereby climb, is it that crazy? I don't know yet. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying but I only see one match in the last 20 that Housewife played, and it's this one right here. So, it's clearly not, at least for either Housewife or their scholar, the card that is changing everything. Let's watch and see if it changes everything right in this context. There's a delete and a return fire with the big 7 bomb that didn't kill, by the way. And we resurrect, and a delete of the resurrector too. That's a big deal. The resurrector went down first. If it would have been better if Magi Chaos went down first, because then the resurrect would have come up. The triage is like something that I was surprised to see, because I watched Housewife play this card yesterday as well, and he frequently played it with this card with the triage to give it a little more life. And I would have thought you just let it die. I would have thought you just lean into damage. I guess, I think you have to admit, even the best of the best need time to figure out a good card. Has Housewife optimized how this card will be used? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But my point in responding to Jarvie and showing the battle is that I think 2 of the 3 battles I saw him use this card, he won. I watched 2 last night. They might have both been victories. And I watched this one, which I've never seen before, and it is a victory. And so is it worth 1.3 million DEC? Not to me. Not to anybody else yesterday. But clearly it's a powerful card, and conceivably, if it is so powerful as some make it out to be, and some declare, this is broken and it's overpowered and it reflects the game's demise, that's how some people are spinning it, then I think we have to acknowledge that it arguably is helping SPS land in the hands of the owner, plus move ranking up in the leaderboard or holding existing leaderboard spots, which is DEC payout. And so, I'm not trying to say it's worth 1.3. I'm just saying from the perspective of that person who is a collector, who fights for the leaderboard, who has every other card and wants to have all cards, who is fighting, you know what I mean? It's like there's a different formula for some versus others. And so, yeah, clearly 1 million is day 2. Relatively a bargain. Tomorrow will be 700,000. I don't think so. Let's find out. I'm gonna leave it there. Have an amazing day. God bless.